The nest determines what you mean when you say I love you versus what I mean when I say I love you. The nest determines the value you place on work, on integrity, on keeping your word. All of it is shaped by the nest you came from. You can take somebody out the hood, but the question remains, can you take the hood out of somebody?
This is the potter's touch.
God bless you, my friends. I am so excited. This is the message everybody's been talking about. I'm glad to be able to share it with you. Our church was mesmerized by it. I used a teaching tool to create a metaphor of what is going on in a lot of our lives. I want you to understand the message is called Don't Die in Your Nest, and I want you to understand quite clearly it is not death that I am afraid of, for Jesus has taken the sting out of death and the victory out of the grave. It is not death that intimidates me. What scares me to death is that I would die without living first. The message is, don't die in your nest. Don't die where you got started. Take a look at this. This will help you.
The eagle is a mighty bird. From tip to tip, its wings spread out, span over 9 feet in each direction. It is unlike any other bird in its ability to see. Its vision is so keen that it can see even in the dark for miles. It is a strong bird, uniquely set aside from other birds. The eagle makes love in the air. But you better stay on the ground. The male eagle and the female eagle make love in the air. They wrap up in each other's wings and they spiral downward thousands of feet in the air. And as they spiral downward, they make love in the middle of the air. I think that God had them to do that so that the eagle would not cohabitate with chickens. Yes. You'll get it when you get home. There's a certain height that you have to be in order to interact with the eagle. The eagle does not crossbreed with just anything that's got wings. You have to, you have to have a certain mindset, a certain mentality. You have to be framed in a certain way and have a certain vision, a certain keenness and precision to earn the right to make love with an eagle. You have to be an eagle. For the eagle goes where lesser birds cannot fly, so it can do what lesser birds cannot do. Part of its uniqueness is not just in its physiology, but its uniqueness is entrapped in the way that it trains its young. Unlike other birds who make nests, some on the ground, and some birds make nests in trees, most species of the eaglet, of the eagle, make their nest in high places, in mountain peaks, on cliffs, so that the eagle is born up high. To keep the eaglet from having a low mentality. When it first opens its eyes, it's already in a high place. Its mother, if you will, has been collecting sticks and branches and flying high into the mountain peaks and finding a cliff. It begins to gather the sticks and build a nest anticipating the birth of its young. This process can take a long period of time to get the nest ready so that when the eagle gives birth, the nest is already built. I got on the phone and I told them, I said, I want a nest. They said, excuse me? I said, I want a nest. They said, we got a bad connection. I said, I want you to build me a nest by Sunday because I got a message I want to preach. So they have been working all week to build this nest. The nest is built before the eggs are hatched. If you're waiting for me to preach, I'm already preaching. The nest is a collection of branches from where the mother has been. It is the historical reference to every place the mother has been. She brings something to the nest before the eggs are ever laid. The mother's story is in the sticks. The eagle's eggs don't get to pick its nest. You pick your friends, but you don't pick your family. You just come here with whatever you come here with. You don't get to pick the personality of the family, whether they are soft-spoken or brawlers. When my wife and I first dated, my wife's family is real quiet and calm and laid back, and not mine. Our family's the kind of family that we talk with our hands. We yell and scream and laugh and hit each other when you make a good point. We make faces and yell and noises, and when her family came to our family dinner, they were like, they thought it was going to be a fist fight right in the middle of dinner because our family is expressive like that. Now, I thought her family was asleep. I started to pinch them to see if they was alive. We don't get to pick that. We are born into it. We step into it. And everything we learn from our neighbors, from our friends, from our associations, from our generation, from our political perspectives, all help to shape up who we are. And all of these experiences help build the nest. It makes us become who we are and think the way we think. And it frames our perspectives and opinions and how we react when we are angry or afraid or worried. It's all in the nest. Never marry anybody without checking out the nest. The nest determines what you mean when you say I love you versus what I mean when I say I love you. The nest determines the value you place on work, on integrity, on keeping your word. All of it is shaped by the nest you came from. You can take somebody out the hood, but the question remains, can you take the hood out of somebody? Even education doesn't totally fix it, because they can be educated and well-dressed and even be well-spoken. But if you make them angry, they will flip out and react out of the nest that built them.
Still to come on The Potter's Touch.
The eagle has stirred the nest. The Lord started speaking to me about your culture, your perspective, what fed you, what nourished you at one stage in your life is too small for what he wants to do in your life. And oh God, there comes a time in your life that the same God that built the nest, that hatched you, stirs the nest.
I wanted to illustrate that what starts out as a blessing can end up becoming a burden. That people think in such straight lines, and they think something is good or bad, right or wrong. But some things that God uses in one stage of your life to nurture you, he will take it at another stage and use it to motivate you and make it uncomfortable for you. It doesn't mean that the nest was bad, it was great, but now it's a transition period. And people have to understand that, so that they don't use the circumstance as an opportunity to become bitter, but rather to become better.
The eagle, when she makes the nest, takes all of the sticks and lays them in such a way, it's almost scientifically, it's brilliant to lay the nest in such a way that when she gets ready to hatch, none of the sticks are protruding in the nest. The protrusions are outside. No protrusions on the inside, so that the eggs can be hatched in a comfortable place. And when the time is right and all the branches are in place, then the eagle comes and she lays her eggs in the nest. Nice, cushy, comfortable nest. After he's laid the eggs and hatched the eggs, the eaglets are born in a high place, in a comfortable place, in a protected place, and its whole world is its nest. This is the world, the combination of the stuff my parents, my friends, my community, my associations brought into it. And everything else, I see it, my vision of the world outside, I see it through the lens of the nest I came from. My perceptions of right and wrong and good and evil and up and down and all of it is affected because I see it all through the nest I was hatched in. We can see the same world but have a different view because we came from a different nest. Are you hearing what I'm saying? The eaglet hatches its eggs in the nest, and then the mother flies, and she goes and she brings food into the nest. So we eat in the nest. We sleep in the nest. We feed in the nest. We manifest all of our early development in the nest. And the nest that initially is a blessing becomes a curse if you stay in it too long. I see people who venture out from the nest, maybe from 9 to 5, but then they go back to the nest. The reason we have difficulty reducing the rate of recidivism in the country is when the inmate allows the prison to become the nest, then freedom doesn't feel free anymore, and they will purposefully get in trouble so that they can go back to the nest because the nest is familiar. People can have a good marriage, but if they're not used to a good marriage, they will sabotage it and start a fight because a fight is familiar because they were spawned in a nest where people fight and peace is boring. God said, I will lead you as the eagle stirs her nest. The stirring of the nest is different from the building of the nest. The building of the nest is a protection to the egg. But when the eagle stirs her nest, it only happens when the eaglets have grown too big to live in something so small. Are you too big to live in something so small? Is it tight in here? It's uncomfortable in here. But I stay in here because it's familiar. It's so comfortable. I don't have to try to be better. I don't have to evolve. They bring the food to me. I'm okay. I'm okay. I got it. I got a system that fits the environment I'm in, even if the environment I'm in is too small for who I am. I'm comfortable here, and the same mother who made it cushy and comfortable and nice and relaxing comes along with the same beak and starts stirring up the nest so that the protrusions that were on the outside now start pointing on the inside to make it uncomfortable for me to stay in my nest. I want to talk to somebody this morning about when the eagle stirs the nest. Have you ever gone through a stirring in your life until what used to be nice and cushy and normal and it was okay and it didn't bother you, but now the eagle has stirred the nest. And when the eagle stirs the nest, all of a sudden the protrusions that kept away the wolf are now pushing the eaglet, so that the eaglet, when it tries to sit where it used to sit, it can't sit there anymore because the eagle has stirred the nest. The Lord started speaking to me about your culture, your perspective, what fed you, what nourished you at one stage in your life is too small for what he wants to do in your life. And oh God, there comes a time in your life that the same God that built the nest that hatched you stirs the nest. Now, the eaglet is facing eviction. Eviction. When the eagle stirs her nest, the eaglets face eviction from the comfortable excuses you used to make for not doing anymore or being anymore or growing anymore or becoming anymore. The eagle now has stirred the nest and the eaglet has to move. God says that if we would judge ourselves, we would have no need to be judged. If the eaglet on its own would fly out of the nest, then the eagle would not have to stir the nest. But there are some eaglets who are stubborn, and they won't change, and they won't grow, and they won't explore, and they won't think, and they won't become, because they have developed a system of survival that is built around the nest. And for those eaglets, I come to preach this morning. The eaglets who handle money the way mama handled money. The eaglets who are angry with women because daddy was angry with women. The eaglets who respond to conflict the way mama did have developed a system of survival that says, I don't have to do anything more than what I'm doing because I'm being fed in my nest. Job said, I thought I would die in my nest. He said it was so cushy and comfortable. I had my wife, I had my kids, I had my property, I had my job, I had a good name, I had it going on. I thought I would die in my nest. Have you ever been in a situation that you thought wouldn't change? And then all of a sudden God comes along and stirs. Oh my God, somebody already understands what I'm talking about. Touch your neighbor and tell them I'm all stirred up. Everything that used to be okay isn't okay anymore. My perceptions are not the same anymore. My ideas are not the same anymore. I was satisfied just to do what I do and act like the world I came from, but now all of a sudden everything has gotten stirred up. I don't know who to trust. I don't know who to talk to. I don't know where to go. I'm not satisfied to live like mama and them live. I want something else. I want to do something. I want to be something. I want to become something. I want to reach something. I don't know what it is. I don't know what's happening in my life. Somebody's been praying, God, what is going on in my life? And the Lord told me to tell you, I'm stirring up your nest. There is no comfortable place. No comfortable place.
Listen, let's take a little time out, pause for the cause, and we'll be back for more in just a moment. Partners, don't miss Come Home for Christmas, our special holiday weekend at the beautiful Gaylord Texan Resort. We can't do any of the things we do without your support and prayer, and I don't want you to step into another year without us being able to pray over the mandates that the Holy Spirit has put on your life as well. Registration is absolutely free, but we do need you to register. Space is limited, so reach out to us today, and I'm looking forward to seeing you on December 7th through the 9th as we come home for Christmas.
Celebrate the